So let's get started here. Chris Chan kills his cat. Or did he? That's what we're going to be talking about now. I didn't think that I would be talking about Chris Chan again, but then this story came up, and I became enraptured in it as it was happening, and the ending, as you will see, is just so interesting that I felt I had to talk about it, and get other people's opinions on my theory. So this story has nothing to do with the dimensional merge that Chris claims is going to happen soon, and is simply a story of him failing to take care of animals that are under his responsibility. So, obviously it is November, and it is getting cold outside. And one day, Chris discovered in his backyard a cat that had given birth to 3 kittens. I understand why someone would want to take in a cat or young kittens that have just been birthed when it's going to be winter soon. But you also have to realize that cats are very capable of taking care of themselves. This was a wild, feral cat that had been living by itself all of its life. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Chris taking care of the cat is worse than its own mother taking care of it. So on the first day, Chris looks at the 3 kittens and picks one of them that he likes, and he takes that one kitten inside. And he posts a picture of it on Twitter. And he says, "This is my new kitten, I saved it outside." He tells the whole story that I just told. And he posts a picture of it resting on his chest, all that fun stuff. You don't need to see the pictures, they're kind of disturbing. So this is his new kitten, and people are upset. They don't like that he has taken it from its mother when it's so young, because you need special formula for it. And the kitten also has a problem with its eye. It has some sort of infection in its eye. My cat actually has the exact same condition, but it's not as bad on my cat. So some people get some money together, and they send him medicine that he'll need to give the cat. And Chris immediately starts talking about having to pay vet bills for this cat, because he is taking in a young kitten. He already has cats and a dog, and it has something wrong with it. He's going to have to pay hundreds of dollars over the course of this cat's life to keep it alive, when he's already e-begging for lots of money. So people are calling him out on that and telling him that he should not have kept it, and telling him that it would have been better off with the mother, and that he's just not responsible enough to take care of it. So a couple days pass, and we get an update from Chris, and apparently he has taken in the other 2 kittens. So now he has stolen all 3 kittens from their mother. He's left the mother outside, and of course the cats are very young. They're still being fed by the mother, and so they need the special formula. And people are now even more upset because Chris is just not capable of being responsible for these 3. So thankfully, one of the 3 was adopted, and it was verified by someone who lives close to Chris and knows the person who adopted the cat. So one of the 3 is safe and in a loving home. So the story gets interesting a couple days later, because Chris takes them to a vet, and apparently, or actually the way that Chris said it, he said that the vet came to their house and told them that what they were doing to take care of the cats was acceptable. And there's no way to verify this, we don't know this. But apparently that happened. A group of people also ordered the medication for the cats, and the medication was apparently on the way being delivered to his house. So Chris decides, or I'm not going to label his intentions here, I'll do that later, I'm not going to talk about what I think his intentions were. But what Chris does is he posts a picture on his Twitter of the first cat that he took in, lying on its side. It's showing its stomach, and it is covered in blood. And this very gruesome picture is accompanied with a caption saying that he had been upstairs when his mother called him down, and told him that their dog, whose name is Snoopy, had gotten to the kitten. So their dog apparently bit the cat, and the cat died, and he told everyone that the cat was dead. So then he, within minutes, deletes this tweet. The comments had been full of people, yelling at him, freaking out, saying, you're not responsible, you killed this cat, this is your fault. So then he posts another tweet about something else, totally unrelated, and someone says, Chris, how dare you do this after you just killed your cat? And he says, no, I don't know what you're talking about, my cat's fine. And they're like, you just posted this picture of the cat dead. And Chris says, no, the cat's fine. And so he posts another picture of the cat just resting on his chest, and it looks perfectly fine. Someone in the comments was able to reverse image search the picture that Chris had posted of the bloody cat, and found that it came from an article about parasites that are common in young kittens and that can cause their, intestines to rupture and stuff. So the gruesome picture of the dead cat was fake. Chris got it from an online article and posted it to claim that the cat was dead, deleted it, and then 5 minutes later posted a picture of the cat being alive for whatever reason. So I found this interesting because I didn't know what his motivations were. Why would he want to lie and tell people that the cat was dead when he could use the cat being alive for sympathy to get more money? I didn't quite understand it. But a few days later, he posted again, this time with no picture, no anything. He just, it was just an update to the story, and he just says, sadly, the cat has passed away due to problems with the illness that it was born with. But the third cat, the one that was not adopted and the one that didn't have this eye infection, is apparently still alive and still under Chris's care. So those are the objective facts. That's the story. So everything from here on out is just my theory, or just the thoughts that went through my head. And that's, can we trust Chris saying that the cat is dead when he lied about it less than a week prior? He lied and posted a picture of an actual dead kitten to claim that the cat was dead. And now he's saying that the cat is dead again after deleting that original post. So here's sort of what I think happened. And this is totally conjecture. I think that he got this cat, the cat was sick, he needed the medicine that the people online had donated to him. But then so many people were yelling at him for taking in the cat when he obviously can't afford anything in his life, and he has to constantly ask for money just to keep the lights on in his house and keep food for him and his mother, that he didn't want those people using this as ammunition against him. He wanted people to still donate, and he didn't want them to think that he was being irresponsible by getting this cat. So he's like, oh, the cat's dead, so now they can't use this against me. But he realized when he posted the first picture of the cat being dead that the medicine had not arrived yet. And so if he said, oh, the cat's dead, he wouldn't receive the medicine because the people who had donated it to him would just cancel the order. And he actually needed the medicine because the cat was alive. So my theory is that he waited 3 days, the medicine arrived, he's administrating it to the cat, he's still taking care of it, and now that he's he's received all of the money and the donations that he got for having a sick kitten, he can now tell this narrative that the cat died so that he can't be called out for having to pay the expenses of this cat, while also not being able to pay for his own food. That might not be the case. It's totally possible that the cat did die, but we have absolutely no way of knowing when it comes to Chris. And I just thought that this was a crazy mini story. When we tell the story of Chris and all the big arcs and stuff going back, over a decade now, this tiny 5-day story of this group of kittens that Chris stole from their mother thinking he was rescuing them, that he then, due to his lack of responsibility, killed one of them, is just a tiny note that I think deserves to be written in history, but isn't important enough to be next to all the bigger events. But I wanted to talk about it because it's just so interesting. Because if he is lying, why would he tell the same lie twice in a row? And if he isn't lying, what are the chances that the cat actually died just mere days after he did lie about it? And taking any sort of conspiracy theory out of it, why did he lie originally? Why did he post the picture of the other dead cat? Does he not know that you can reverse image search a picture like that on the internet? Did he not think he would get caught? I really don't understand. Obviously, I can't even I can't even try putting my mind in the mind of Chris. That will never be something that I attempt to do. But this is something I just wanted to get other people's opinions on, and I wanted to cement in history, which is why I'm uploading this video of me talking about it. I don't plan at the moment on making update videos like this about Chris, but I will be looking out for what he does after the date of the dimensional merge passes. He has set a date in stone. I don't remember what it is, but it's supposed to be mid-December. So right now it's mid-November of 2018, so we're talking about a month from now. And I will be watching him very closely to see what he does as that date approaches and what happens that day, and then obviously what happens the days after nothing happens. Because in my last video about this, where I did talk about the dimensional merge, I likened him to a cult leader, and I wanted to see what would happen to him after this prophecy that he has been foretelling falls apart. And I want to see if he fails with grace, if he just says, sorry guys, I was wrong, if he picks a new date, if he says that it's someone else's fault. Like, oh, all the negative energy that, Donald Trump is putting out is the reason that the dimensional merge didn't happen. Or if he actually claims that the merge did happen and that he visited the other world. I don't know, but I'm very interested. And if anything interesting comes out of it, I will probably do another video like this talking about it. The reason that I make these is because no one in my life follows Chris Chan. And I do because I think it's such an interesting narrative. I am a writer, I am a fiction writer, and all of the stories of Chris are very interesting. I think that it's a classic case of truth being stranger than fiction, and the fact that all of these things are on their own interesting, and yet they all happen to one individual, I think makes Chris Chan one of the most, if not the most interesting person to ever live. And that's why I follow him. And that's why whenever anything interesting like this happens, I will make another video on it. And I don't care if anyone watches. And if you do watch, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe because this is not the normal stuff I do on my channel. So if you like this and you want to see more, don't be mad when I upload random videos about Star Wars, because that's what I normally do. And this is just something I'm doing on the side. And if that kitten really is dead, then God rest its soul.